Hey, what is the secret to becoming a writer? On today's episode, I'm going to talk with you about how to become a writer, why it's easier than you might think, and I'm going to give you some practical tools, tips, and resources that will help you get started today. So, let's jump right in with one of those resources I want you to have. This one is called my 30K in 30 Days Writing Challenge. This is great for new or aspiring writers who want to start off on their very first book. It's also great for people who've been writing a long time, but maybe you've hit a little bit of a rut and you want to jump back in. This is a 4-week self-guided PDF. You can go and download it for free. I want you to have it as my gift to you at pages.tcbird.com. Again, I think this is really going to help you a lot. It'll help you set a goal, track your progress. It will help you create a rhythm and schedule for your writing while still building in intentional rest. It has been a lifesaver for me, and I think it's going to work for you as well. So go grab that today. It's at pages.tcbird.com. Okay, let's jump into it. What is the secret to becoming a writer? Well, are you ready for it? I think the secret is you just have to start writing. And I know that's a little bit tongue in cheek and I've got more that I want to go into, but I think sometimes we overcomplicate it. I think we approach writing and think, "Oh man, there's so much involved. How could I ever write an entire book? I'm never going to be good enough." We have all of this kind of stuff going on in our head, all of these challenges and mindset hurdles that we have to get over that actually beginning to write for some of us, as simple as it might be, is one of the most challenging parts. And I know that's true for me. If you've been listening along and you know my story, that certainly is part of my journey as well. I had the idea to write a book for a long time, but for a long time, I didn't take any action on it at all. And there were a lot of these mindset challenges that I kind of had to overcome, but also I just kind of looked at this picture of writing a book and it looked to me like this huge Mount Everest thing that I could never accomplish. Like I just was standing at the base of the mountain looking up thinking, how does anybody ever get there? And so I wanted to share with you a few things that can help if you're just starting out and you want to write a book, but maybe you haven't started yet or maybe you're just getting into it. How do you become a writer? Point number 1, I want you to avoid burnout by starting small. This, I think, is one of the biggest challenges that many new writers have when we first get into it. We have that spark of an idea or that thought that, wouldn't it be great for me to write this book? And so we go buy expensive software, we go buy a new laptop, right? Whatever it is, we invest heavily on the front end and we dive in with tons of enthusiasm, tons of passion, tons of excitement. And then you hit a wall. You realize that you've invested so much time, so much energy, so much effort into this thing, and you very quickly can burn yourself out. I don't want that to happen to you. So I'm encouraging you first and foremost, I want you to start writing, but start small. So maybe for you, that means you don't jump right into writing that book you've always dreamed of. Maybe you start off by writing short stories, or maybe you start by getting a good journal and just kind of writing down thoughts or ideas as they come to you. Getting yourself into that habit, into that rhythm of writing can really start to unlock things in you. It can really kind of again just establish that baseline of who you are as a writer, what feels good for you. You'll start to discover and uncover your voice, your style, what feels good. Again, tone, point of view, all of those things can start to come into a little bit of a focus for you as an author if you just take some of that pressure off on the front end. And so maybe you're not starting off with a bunch of lofty goals. Maybe you don't have goals at all at the beginning. Maybe you're just starting to just write, to just get a journal and just go. One resource that I would recommend for this, The Artist's Way by Julia Cameron. If you've ever heard the concept of morning pages, that's where this comes from. Super helpful for the creative who just wants to express himself or herself. The Artist's Way by Julia Cameron. But maybe you've done the journaling thing, or maybe you decide that's not for you. Another great thing that can kind of get your feet wet in terms of writing is using writing prompts. You can go out to Google. There's tons of these things that you can find out there. One of my favorite places to get these, though, is called Writer's Digest. You can go Google Writer's Digest prompts. I think they do a new one every week, and I've actually submitted a couple. So you just go out there, jump into the comments, and add your response to this writing prompt. The great thing about that is it's low pressure, it's just a few hundred words and you're able to get feedback from other writers for free. So you just add a comment, you can read other people's stories or things that they've written in response to these prompts. Really cool place to do that. So again, Writer's Digest prompts, I love those as well. There's a new one all the time and they're usually pretty good. So avoid burnout. That's point number one, how to become a writer. Avoid burnout by starting small. Don't try to tackle everything in one day because that is one of the surest ways and the quickest ways to burn out as a writer. And burned out writers aren't doing a whole lot of writing. So I don't want that to happen to you because I want you to write your story. So that's point number one. Number two, similarly, along those same lines, I believe that we should make our writing and our habit of writing ridiculously easy so that we can find early success. One of the books that I read that kind of changed my perspective on a lot of this kind of habit formation stuff is Atomic Habits by James Clear. If you don't know this book, it's wildly popular. I would encourage you to go buy it and take notes and mark it up. It's super helpful if you're somebody who wants to form a new habit. But one of the things that was most meaningful to me in this book was when he was talking about early on establishing a new habit. One of the things that I think a lot of people, not just writers, but people in general, a mistake that we can run into is we try to take on too much too fast. And so he says that if you're going to, let's use writing as the example. Let's say you set out to have a goal of writing 1,000 words per day, but then you have something happen where maybe you're sick or your kid's sick or you've got a particularly busy schedule and you're not able to write that day, or you're only able to write 200 words. And now you can get in your head a little bit and start to think, well, I missed my goal. I'm falling further behind. I'm never going to be able to do this thing. So he says, don't just set goals for yourself or set rhythms for yourself that you're able to accomplish when everything goes right. He says to make it small enough and easy enough that you can accomplish this task on even your worst day. So even when your schedule is slam packed and you're distracted and being pulled in a bunch of different directions, you're still able to carve out that few minutes to do what you need to do to keep that streak going, whether it's a daily streak or a weekly streak or whatever the case might be. Think about a goal. Another author, John Acuff, says that when you're setting a goal, you have your initial goal, and his recommendation is actually to cut that thing in half right at the outset. Because psychologically, being able to make progress, being able to succeed repeatedly early on is so incredibly helpful for us. It fuels us, it keeps us motivated, and it really can snowball and turn into something pretty amazing. But on the flip side, if you set your goal too lofty and you consistently miss it, or even if you maybe infrequently miss that goal, it can really be discouraging. It can crush you and it can really kill your productivity. So avoid burnout by starting small. Maybe you don't jump right into writing the next great American novel. Maybe there's a way you can do that through journaling, through writing prompts, or through some other means. Make it ridiculously easy to find success. So again, referencing Atomic Habits, make your regular rhythm so small and achievable that you can knock it out of the park even on your worst day. Number three, how to become a writer, track your progress visually. This is such a big deal for me. There's lots of different ways to do it. If you're watching on YouTube, you can see, you've probably noticed I have a bunch of sticky notes on the wall here. I'm a big sticky notes on the wall kind of guy, but another way you could do this is if you've got a paper calendar, make a little check mark or circle the date every time you cross your goal off your list. Seeing that visual accumulation, again, just has such a cool psychological impact. Of course, you can also do this through writing softwares like I use Scrivener, and it helps me keep track of a regular word count. Awesome way to do that. Another great way you can track your progress is a resource that I've created because I'm not really a math person. So I created a word count calculator where you key in a goal and it will spit out for you, here's what you should get every day. And by the way, you can put in how many days a week you want to write. So if you say, I want to write 5,000 words a week, and I'm willing to write 3 days a week, it will do that calculation and say, okay, here's what you should write on each of those times. It will also track your progress. It will tell you how close you are percentage-wise to your overall goal. So if you've got a 80,000 word count goal for your book, it will do. I put all the math in there for you so you don't have to do it yourself. You can get that, again, as my gift to you. Go to tcburr.com and then click the free resources button. I want you to have it. I think it'll help, especially if you don't want to do the math stuff like I don't. So that's number three. It is so important and so helpful to be able to walk to your desk and see every single day, oh man, look at this progress that I'm making. Look at this word count grow. Look at these number of days that I've written continue to accumulate. All of a sudden, you're going to look up and think, you know what? I am a writer. I'm doing this. And the more you do that, the more you make that realization, the easier it gets. The hardest part, there's lots of hard parts about writing, but in my estimation, the hardest part is actually getting started. And so I want to help you get started and keep going on your writing because I believe that the world needs more great stories. And I think that you've got a story worth writing. And by the way, you are the only person who can write your story. So let's get to it. The fourth way to become a writer, the fourth secret to becoming a writer is to reward yourself. Because let's face it, it's hard, it's work. Like it certainly is a joy. It's creative expression. It's a lot of fun, but it's also work. And parts of it can be a drag. And so as you are tracking your progress, you're probably going to have some milestones that you establish, at least in your mind. So maybe for you, that is, if I want to write 4 days a week for 4 weeks straight. And when you accomplish that milestone, maybe there's some type of tangible reward, maybe a nice dinner out, or maybe it's, who knows, whatever your thing is, that TV that you've had your eye on that you want to buy, whatever. Reward yourself tangibly, because then you're able to tie that reward to finding success in your writing. And again, that just does something for us psychologically. It encourages us to keep making progress. And so that is my list for you today. There's really the big secret to becoming a writer. There's really no secret. You've got to write, but hopefully these things will help you get started and keep going in your writing. So number one, avoid burnout by starting small. Number two, make it ridiculously easy to find success in your regular rhythms. Number three, track your progress visually. And number four, reward yourself tangibly. Which of these do you think will be most impactful for you as a writer? Let me know if you try these and how it works out for you. And also, if you want help with this, again, I mentioned this at the top, but I'd love for you to grab my 30-day writing challenge. You can get it for free at pages.tcburr.com. All right, that's it for today. Hey, thanks so much for watching and listening. Until next time, keep writing, and I'll talk to you soon. Later.